Welcome back guys, my name is Angelo. Trade Republic, one of the best low-cost brokers in Europe for stocks and ETFs, just launched a massive update. You can now buy bonds starting from only €1, something many of you have been asking me about. And since October 1st, Trade Republic is paying 4% interest per year on euro deposits secured by a €100,000 bank deposit guarantee. That's the best offer I've seen from any bank or broker for interest on uninvested cash so far. So we'll of course take a closer look to find out if there's a catch you need to be aware of. While introducing the new features, Trade Republic dropped a major redesign of its mobile app as well, which understandably upset a lot of its user base, which was used to the previous look. As a result, its App Store ratings on Android and iOS dropped significantly. So, apart from going over the new unique features I mentioned in the intro, I want to make sure you still know how everything works. Thus, we'll also go over some basics like placing orders, setting up commission-free recurring investments into stocks or ETFs, how to earn interest on your uninvested cash, and much more using the new interface. Before I jump right into it, I wanted to inform you that I don't do sponsored or paid content, and this video is no exception. Still, if you sign up to Trade Republic via my link in the description below, I receive a small commission at no cost to you, which is a great way to support me if you'd like to. Alright, let's begin with why Trade Republic is one of my personal favorite brokers in Europe in the first place. They were founded in 2015 in Germany, where they are strictly regulated by the BaFin. They're now available in 17 European countries. There are no account fees or other hidden fees like exchange connectivity fees on the Giro, for example. Buying or selling stocks, ETFs and now also bonds only costs €1 each time and also includes fractional shares. Trade Republic offers commission-free recurring investments, also known as saving plans, making it an excellent option, especially if you want to invest smaller amounts on a regular basis. They're the only broker I'm aware of offering fractional investments into bonds, which are usually very difficult to buy as an individual investor. They now pay 4% interest per year on your uninvested cash in euros secured by a €100,000 bank deposit guarantee and with interest being paid out monthly. Your assets like stocks, ETFs and bonds are never lent out and always remain exclusively yours, unlike the Giro's policy, for example. And you can easily transfer your stocks or ETFs to another broker for free if you ever want to in the future for whichever reason, which is an essential feature for long-term investors. Okay, now that we quickly got over the basics, let's take a look at the new features they added, starting with what's likely of most interest to the majority of you watching, me included. 4% interest per year on cash in euros secured by a €100,000 bank deposit guarantee. Now you're probably wondering, how is that possible and where's the catch? Well, the ECB just increased its rates to 4%. This means banks now get 4% interest on overnight euro deposits at the European Central Bank. Trade Republic is simply passing on this interest to its customers. There are only 3 things you should be aware of. First, after making your first deposit to Trade Republic, you may need to manually activate the 4% interest in your Trade Republic app by switching to cash, clicking on interest under benefits, and then clicking on activate 4% interest rate and confirming it one more time by clicking activate again. Second, while your cash is secured up to €100,000, you only earn 4% interest on the first €50,000. This is something to keep in mind in case you were planning to earn interest on even larger amounts, but we'll take a look at how you can add bonds in that scenario later. And lastly, I'm sure Trade Republic assumes most people are more likely to trade if they have cash already sitting on their account, which is how the broker makes money. So just be mindful of that and don't start investing or trading more than you were planning to initially. As for myself, I got really excited when they first announced that they were going to start paying 4%, a significant increase from the 2% I was earning on my cash reserves on Trade Republic since January. I also appreciate that interest is paid out at the beginning of each month instead of quarterly or yearly, that I can see how much interest I accrued so far, in my case already €1.77 after only 2 days, and that we're able to withdraw our money anytime without any fees or lock-in period. In my opinion, this is now the best offer out there to earn interest on cash without taking on extra risk, since the funds are secured by a €100,000 bank deposit guarantee, even if you don't like the new app design, which we'll go over in a few minutes. In fact, it's so good in comparison that it kind of makes the next topic a bit less exciting than it would have been otherwise. I'm talking about bonds, which many of you have been asking me to cover over the past few months. The reason very few people talk about how to buy bonds in Europe is that these are usually very hard to purchase for individual investors and are mostly traded by institutional clients. And you usually have to buy them at a denomination of at least €1,000, often even €10,000 per bond. Additionally, most brokers don't offer investments into bonds in the first place. Interactive Brokers is one of the few exceptions. But the entire process, from finding the right bond and calculating the exact yield throughout your holding period, is quite complex and stopped me from taking a closer look at bonds so far. Okay, apart from the low interest rate environment we were in for the past 10 years, which made bonds less interesting to begin with. One of the only easy ways to access bonds so far was via ETFs. But in my opinion, they're a suboptimal way to add this asset class to your portfolio, since they make it hard to minimize duration risk as we've seen when the largest Euro government bond ETF, which includes a mix of different durations, dropped 18.5% in value in 2022. This is not something you ever want to see happening to what should have been the stable, low-risk portion of a portfolio. Now here's where Trade Republic comes in. They just added 500 bonds in total, a mix of government bonds, which are the ones that I'll focus on in this video, as well as corporate bonds. And I'm happy to say that they fixed my biggest gripes with investing into bonds. Instead of needing to invest a minimum of 1,000 or 10,000 into each, you can buy them starting from an amount as low as €1 since Trade Republic is offering fractional shares. Let's take a look at how this works. First, we click on Invest, then scroll down and click on Bonds, where we can see a short video clip showing us how easy they are to buy. Now we tap Invest again, where we can either search for specific bonds or filter by type. In my case, I'm interested in euro-denominated government bonds issued by European countries with a short duration, for example 1 to 6 months. The month and year you see listed for each bond is when it should be fully paid back, including interest payments. In this scenario, our risk is limited to one of these countries defaulting on their debt before they pay back the bond. So if you want, you can Google each country's credit rating before you make a choice. I don't see the risk materializing with any of these countries in the near future though. Perhaps Poland has a slightly higher risk due to them not having the euro as their home currency. So if the Polish zloty crashes in value, they might have a hard time repaying their debt in euros. But again, we're talking about very short durations here. The thing that Trade Republic does very well here, which is usually very difficult to calculate manually, is that on the right side they show you right away what annualized return you're getting when you're investing into each bond right now, already factoring in the price or face value it is trading for. For example, I'm going to pick the Spanish government bond, since Spain currently has a better credit rating compared to Italy. Now if we scroll down, we can see that we can expect an annual return of 3.86% if we buy it today and hold it until it's paid back in the end of January. Here in the details, we can also see that it actually has a coupon, which is how interest rates are called with bonds, of 4.8% per year, but it is traded at a face value of over 100, which is a normal thing that happens when interest rates change and certain bonds become more attractive compared to others. And so the returns for the holding period are 3.86% per year right now. I'm actually going to buy it right now. Let's do €500. Now we can see a quick summary including its annual return, its time to maturity of only 4 months, and at the bottom we can see that we're only paying a €1 fee for the purchase. Now we click on buy and that's it. We purchased our first government bond. We can now also find this position when scrolling down to our investments, where we can also sell it again if we wanted to. But I'm going to hold on to this one, and I might add more short-term government bonds in the future in case interest rates rise above what Trade Republic is paying directly, so the 4%. I have to say that while I'm unhappy about the app redesign, I love how easy and accessible Trade Republic has made investing into bonds. If you think interest rates are going to decrease again in the near future, you could of course also lock in higher rates by buying bonds with longer durations. A drop in interest rates would most likely even enable you to sell that bond at a higher price if you so wish, since there's more demand for its comparatively high interest or coupon rate. On the other hand, another rise in ECB interest rates would most likely drop its market value, so it's a bit of a gamble in case you're not planning to simply hold each bond until it is fully paid back. That's why I generally recommend you look at short-term government bonds first, which you just need to hold for a few months at a time without worrying about further interest rate hikes, especially if you're new to bonds like me. Now you're probably wondering, okay, but how is Trade Republic able to offer fractional bonds? Is my investment still segregated from the broker and fully protected in case of bankruptcy, for example, as is the case with stocks and ETFs? I was wondering about this myself, and luckily the answer is yes. Your investment into bonds are fully protected and exclusively yours. As we can see in the support article, the fractional share offering of stocks, ETFs and now bonds consists of real fractional shares. Instead of working with third-party providers or issuing derivatives, Trade Republic provides the fractional shares themselves, and you retain full ownership of your fractions, which are held in segregated accounts at their custodian bank HSBC, just like full shares are. As a result, these cannot be touched even if Trade Republic were to ever go bankrupt and remain your property, which is great. Okay, now let's have a quick chat about the app redesign which they launched 2 weeks ago. It's the main reason why Trade Republic's ratings in app stores have plummeted to never before seen levels, as a large portion of their user base is understandably upset about the massive overhaul of what used to be a very well-designed app compared to other brokers. Sadly, I have yet to see a single comment where someone says they like the new interface better than the previous one. on. That being said, I know they're listening to all the feedback. It's not like they want to upset their user base on purpose. So I'm sure they'll make the new interface better over time. And while I'm also not a fan of the new look, to be honest, compared to the old one, especially how small and hard to read the text is sometimes, or how many gestures and extra clicks are now needed to access basic functions, it doesn't change all the things the broker does well from an investor's perspective, which ultimately is what matters the most to me. As a result, it hasn't stopped me or my wife from using and recommending Trade Republic to friends and family. But let me know how you feel about it in the comments. The web interface hasn't seen as many changes yet, so you could do most of your investing on the broker there if you prefer. Just keep in mind that it's missing a few functions, so you may still need to use the mobile app for certain features, like the newly added bonds, or to see how much interest you earned so far this month. Now, to make sure you still know how all the basics work, from depositing and withdrawing money, to buying stocks or ETFs directly or via a savings plan, let's quickly go over everything. To deposit money, you need to click on Transfer and Add. Here, make sure you select Bank Transfer, since adding money via a simple SEPA transfer is always free of charge. Meanwhile, if you need to instantly deposit money via credit card or Google Pay, you have that option as well, but it comes with a 0.7% fee, as you can see here. There are no fees for withdrawing money back to your bank account either, for which you need to first click on Transfer and then Send. You should also know that for security reasons, you can only send money to and from a bank account running in your name, and the reference account you can wire money back to from Trade Republic is always the most recent one you use to make a deposit. Since you already know how to buy bonds, which I showed you a few minutes ago, here's how you can buy ETFs or stocks directly, or set up commission-free recurring investments using Trade Republic. Tap the Invest button at the bottom left and then either scroll down to Stocks and ETFs, or just do a search for the ETF you want to buy. In my case, VWCE, the Accumulating Vanguard FTSE All-World ETF. Now you can either set up a commission-free recurring investment by clicking on Save and entering the amount you want to invest at specific intervals, or we can go back and buy shares right away by tapping Trade and then Buy at the bottom right. I'm actually going to buy 1000 euros worth of shares right now. You can also change the order type to limit, for example, if you want, but then you won't be able to buy fractional shares directly as well, which is a feature I really appreciate on Trade Republic. Okay, now let's click on Next, where we can see an overview of our order at the current share price and that we're only paying €1 in fees for it. Now we tap on Buy at the bottom right and that's it. Our order is placed and executed successfully shortly after, as we can see when switching to the Cash tab and looking at our transactions. There we can click on our most recent transaction, where we can see that we just purchased 9.91 shares of our ETF at a share price of 100.84 euros, and we only paid €1 in transaction fees. By the way, it's usually best to place these direct orders during work days, so Monday to Friday from 9 AM to 5:30 PM Central European Time, which is when the largest European exchanges are open. Alright, that pretty much sums up everything that's new about Trade Republic, one of my favorite low-cost brokers in Europe. While I hope they improve the new design over time, everything the broker offers right now is really hard to beat, especially these 4 features. First, the 4% interest per year on euro deposits secured by bank deposit guarantee, the best offer I've seen anywhere as of today. Second, a flat €1 trading fee for stocks and ETFs, including fractional shares. Third, commission-free recurring investments, aka saving plans for thousands of ETFs and stocks. And lastly, now being able to directly invest into commercial or government bonds, with the minimum investment being only €1 instead of thousands of euros, which is usually the case. This is another feature I haven't seen on any other broker in Europe. If you'd like to check out Trade Republic for yourself and support the work that I put into this video, feel free to use my link in the description below. But now I want to hear from you guys. How do you feel about Trade Republic? Not only considering the new features, but also its redesign. Let me know in the comments. Before you take off, don't forget to gently tap the like button if you enjoyed the video and to subscribe if you haven't yet. We're trying to get to 30,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Let's see if we can make it. And thank you for sticking around if you're subscribed already. I'm really grateful for every single one of you. That's it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a wonderful day and until next time.